everyone, welcome once again to Riding Tiger with Arijit. And guess what? Today we have someone from Bengal itself. And as you know, Bengal is actually popular about Sundarbans, and Sundarban is actually popular about Royal Bengal Tiger. And to be very, very honest, I have my cousin brother, elder brother, and he's a tiger. Why he is a tiger? We will, of course, know each other better without any kind of question. But the basic point is, I define him as a tiger because the kind of work that he do. So who is he? A business person, a change maker, a lawyer, or a policeman? Oh no. He is basically a doctor, a person who did massive work and working in a very particular specialized field called geriatric segment. Well, if I define that, that's actually working with old age people. And when you feel about old age people, we feel that, okay, I mean, there is no life. This is like working with some kind of guys who are over 60s or 70s with a lot of problem. Guess what? It's not like that. Life is completely different when you are aged. When you are aged, you have got experience, you have got skill, and believe me or not, in the Western world, we actually cherish when people become over 60. They start enjoying their life. So over to you, doctor. Could you please enlighten us about yourself and probably a few bit of basic about how you started your journey? I know that you started your journey from Dalip Street, which is in Calcutta, but yes, we can see an amazing picture in your background, which is probably your certification, and that's your one of the greatest certification that I believe. But this is not my time of speaking. This is your time. So mic is yours, floor is yours. Please enlighten us about your life journey.
Thank you, Arijit. Thank you, brother. As you introduced yourself, we are cousins, and I'm older than you, and like your elder brother. Today we are here professionally talking on the riding tiger. As you introduced me, I'm a geriatrician, a term which many of us are not aware of. Geriatrician means someone who's specialized in care of the elderly, which means senior citizens, whatever the cutoff age be, 60 plus in this country, 70 plus in some countries, 75 plus in UK, where I stayed at least 10 years. And like he said, you can see the picture in the background, which he picked up with his hawk eyes, where I am seen with the highest degree or diploma which we can achieve in medicine, which is fellowship, FRCP as we call it from UK. I started my journey in Kolkata. It was way back in 1994, I think, when I was working in NRS Hospital, Calcutta, which is a big state government hospital. And as I was walking, it was May, it was hot afternoon of May. As I was walking through the corridor of the medicine outpatient department, I saw an 80-year-old man shivering with fever, standing in the queue, waiting for his turn to be called to see the doctor in medicine. So I asked him in Bengali, translated in English, I asked him, why are you here so late? I mean, there's a huge queue. God knows when you'll reach. It's hot. It's about 1 p.m. in the afternoon. He told me that he had come from Canning, which is about 1.5, 2 hours by train, from local train from Calcutta. And he had reached the hospital at 8. And he had been in the queue since 9. And it was 1. He was 80-year-old, fever, weak, frail, and he was just waiting in the general queue with other 40-year-old, 30-year-old, 25-year-olds waiting for his term to be seen by the doctor. At that moment, I think the geriatrician in me was born, and I vowed that I would try and start geriatrics as a different discipline in Kolkata. A long, long journey from 1994 to 2021, where I had to I practiced in Kolkata in government hospitals, and then I went to UK, trained myself better, and came back. But it is a journey which took Kolkata from being a non-geriatric medicine city to a geriatric medicine city now. And as I speak, I am a geriatrician in a subdivisional hospital in Salt Lake, many of whom who are in Kolkata would be aware. It's called Salt Lake Subdivisional Hospital. And the Honorable Health Minister gave me permission, which is also Honorable Health Minister and the Chief Minister also. Madam, she gave me permission to start a geriatric unit in this hospital. So the first official geriatric unit in Kolkata is in operation in Salt Lake. I have opened the floodgates, and now hopefully there'll be other geriatricians in other hospitals. Like I said, it's been a long journey, ups and downs. When I started geriatrics in Kolkata, I was ridiculed by some of my colleagues because they said that geriatrics is a discipline for the West. Why are you trying it in Kolkata? It will never flourish in Kolkata. But it gives me immense pleasure when I see young junior doctors write on their um, clinic door, special interest in geriatric medicine now, which means what I preached or started preaching as the first geriatrician of Kolkata way back in 1994 has now paid dividends, and there are young and old doctors who do, some of them do small time, 6 months, 12 months course in geriatric medicine, diploma, and they start practicing geriatrician. So I was the only person way back in 1994 to almost 1998. And now I see quite a few geriatricians in Kolkata. So it's been a good journey. Apart from medicine, Orijit, my brother told me to share my other interests. I'll just quickly share it and then come back to geriatrics again with a few interesting stories, which will make this program more interesting, I think. Because I'm not here, as far as I am aware, to discuss medicine. Am I not? I'm not, right,
You
Orijit?
can discuss anything. We are
No,
going to
I don't want to
explore.
discuss medicine. I don't want to discuss medicine as medicine.
Oh,
I
no,
mean,
no, no, no,
yeah, no symptoms, treatment, etc.
no.
We are already going through a pandemic, COVID pandemic. Half of the pandemic I was in UK in the year 2020, and the next year from 2020 to 21 I'm in Kolkata. So I've seen COVID on both sides of the world. So if I get some time in this period of time, maybe I'll share. So apart from medicine, I am an avid uh, fan of literature. I write scripts in Bengali mainly, and some of these scripts have been staged as drama on the stage, and a couple of them have been made into short films, which have gone on YouTube, the links of which are on YouTube. And I also am a stage actor and a director, so that is my passion. Unfortunately, COVID has taken away this passion for the last year or two, and my last performance was in UK, where I directed, scripted, and acted in a play, uh, 1 hour play, which was a comedy. And since the last 1.5 years, I'm feeling very deprived because I can't practice this hobby of mine. But soon COVID will abate slowly, I'm sure, and I'll be able to get back to my passion, which is acting, script writing, etc. I also do a lot of public speaking, debates. I do a lot of quizzing now, quiz master in many quiz programs. So people tell me that I'm better as a public speaker or a debater or an actor than a doctor. But that is something which I'd like to debate about with them. Let me share some experiences in this long, almost 25 plus years of geriatric practice in UK and Kolkata. I'll start off by a very interesting story which I share with my students, with my juniors, with everyone. I had just reached UK then. It was 1998. Um, December, I think. No, sorry, it was August 1998. And this incident was in September. I was doing my first ward round on my own independent ward round. And there was this 85-year-old gentleman who was sitting in the bed, bedside chair, all dressed and ready. He was being discharged that day. And he was looking very, very happy. So I just went through the papers. I checked him up last minute and I asked him, "Why are you so happy, Mr. Williams?" Mr. Williams is a very common surname in Wales, where I was working then. This is North Wales in a hospital. So I can use it. I'm not, I'm sure he's no longer in this world, but even if he is, then Mr. Williams is a very common name. So I'm not divulging anyone's name. So I asked him, "Mr. Williams, so why are you sitting and you're beaming away? Yesterday, also in the round, I saw you very, very depressed and you're coughing and scared." And he said, "Today is my discharge day, doctor." I said, "Yes, fine. It's your discharge day, fine." And so is Mr. Jones being discharged. I pointed across the ward. He's just sitting dressed up, ready for the ambulance to pick him up. So why are you so happy? You'd be surprised what Mr. Williams told me. Mr. Williams told me, "You know, doctor, I had a chest infection, so I came to the hospital. And a very important event in my life got delayed because of that. I'm getting discharged today, and tomorrow is that important event in my life." I said, "Really? What is the event?" This gentleman is 80 plus, friends. He said, "This important event for which I'm so cheerful today is," and then he literally shouted and said, "I'm getting married, I'm getting married, I'm getting married."
Oh my God. How sweet.
Mr. Williams was getting married for the second or third time in his life to a 65-year-old lady, a longtime friend of his, and he was excited because he was getting married. That day, like that day in NRS Hospital where I started thinking as a geriatrician, that day I realized that life is not only about age, and age is just a number. It's
True.
just a number. Imagine how happy he was to get married and get discharged. And he was getting discharged and married the next day. I've seen sad stories also. I've seen a 85-year-old lady in an old age home sitting well dressed up one day when I went to the rounds and said, "Margaret," another common name in England. "Margaret, you're so well dressed up today. Why are you so well dressed up? You look so happy. Anything special today? Is it your birthday?" Margaret said, "No, doctor, this is not my birthday. My son visits me once every year on this day. It's Mother's Day.
Oh my God.
So I'm happy." Tears came to my eyes. We look after our parents day in and day out. And look at these people. They come from a different culture in the West. They're so used to this that she looks forward to that one day in the year, which is Mother's Day, when his son might come with her grandsons and granddaughters. And then again, 364 days, it's staying alone in that old age home. So I've
Right.
shared one story with a positive and one with a negative. In Kolkata, I've had many experiences with many senior citizens. I've had the privilege, I would say, of looking after elderly, retired people who have made name and fame. Some of them are no more, and I'm sure their families won't mind if I mention. I looked after PK Banerjee, the famous footballer,
Yeah.
which all of you are aware, the Arjun Awardee coach. He unfortunately passed away when I was in England in 2019, as far as I remember. I was in
Yeah.
England then.
Yeah.
I had the good fortune of looking after Shupriya Devi, that famous actress, till the last day of her life, and many more. And I consider every person to be a celebrity. I'm mentioning these names not because they are celebrities or they were. I still look after many celebrities. I can't mention their names for ethical reasons, but it gives me a great joy, Orijit, when I look after these people because I feel they have given so much to society. And by looking after them as a doctor, I'm giving back something at least from society and keeping them well. It gives me immense joy, and I feel proud when I see these people solve their problems. It hurts me when I lose these people, like I lost Pikeda, I lost Shupriya Di, I lost Konika Majumdar, a famous actress who stayed the last few years of her life in an old age home. I looked after Shombu Mitro, Tripti Mitro, and I feel I feel really happy when I feel that I have seen these people who have done a lot for society, be it in sports, in politics, in acting, in movie, etc., etc. Kolkata is a mixed city. Our approach to senior citizens is, I have found, uh,
Different.
very contrasting.
Yeah.
Very contrasting. Contrasting not only from the West. We still believe in a joint family. If not a joint family, even if the sons and daughters stay away, they look after their parents. When the parents are ill, they come and see them, unless they are, of course, staying away, like non resident Bengalis or non resident Indians. So that is a positive part. But then again, for those sons and daughters and families who stay with their parents in Kolkata or in West Bengal, because they cover a lot of West Bengal, including Shantiniketan, Bolpur, Midnapur town, sometimes Bagnan, Kollani. Wherever I've been, I've seen a contrast of approach to elderly. There are a few who are very, very much dedicated to their parents, and they would go to any lengths to treat their parents, even if they don't have funds. They would say, Doctor, I've run out of money, but please do something. Take him to a government hospital. I've seen people sell their ornaments, sell their land, sell their cows and animals to treat their parents. I've seen the contrast also. I've seen people, unfortunately, of very high economic class who do not look after their parents at all. I can share a statement which a son told me when I was examining his father and said, your father has got probably a cardiac problem. He might need angiogram and angioplasty, maybe, which is a repair of the heart vessels for those who are not used to these terms. The son asked me, Doctor, how much will it cost? I said, it depends. I don't do it. I can refer you to the hospitals. It costs, I quoted a figure, so much in to so much. You know what the son told me on hearing the price? He said, oh, let it be. I said, why? He said, it's a bad investment.
My God. My
Orijit, I know, Orijit, I know you. I'm proud of you as a young brother who's a very successful entrepreneur. You are an entrepreneur. You do investment, you get back. I mean, I'm not a commerce man, but the terms maybe I'm misusing, but you invest, you get profit back. Sometimes you lose. Is that right?
Well, no. When as an angel we invest, we actually, or rather, I actually do things for mental pleasure, happiness plus
That is
return.
that is
If the
that is
return
you.
doesn't come, it doesn't matter if the
That
happiness.
is you. That is how I know you. I'm saying when a businessman talks about investment, he talks about profit, maybe. But
Yeah.
have you ever heard a son talk of his father's treatment as being a bad investment?
How can he?
I mean, I was shocked. So, like I said, I have seen people of very poor slum areas come and fall on my feet and say, do anything to save my father. I'll sell my ornaments. And I've seen people saying bad investment, not bringing their parents in for checkups, not taking them to a hospital when I've told them, and In this COVID period, I've lost quite a few lives because of negligence from the patients and the families. Untimely, they were not taken to the hospital on time, so they succumbed. Geriatrics is a different discipline, friends, because the way you approach to treat an elderly person is totally different from the way you approach to treat a younger person. It's like pediatrics. Pediatrics is a different discipline. Not many of you would be aware that an elderly person has a totally different way of treating an illness than a younger person. A totally different way of investigating and interpreting the results than a younger person. Most of these elderly are dependent on pension or their son or their daughter or son-in-law or daughter-in-law. So as a geriatrician, we have to be very careful as to how much we suggest as investigations or medicines, because we have to be aware that these people might not be able to afford it. I'm not saying that at a younger age also we are not aware of it, but at an elderly age when money is, the pot is smaller, you have to be careful before you prescribe, say, an MRI spine, which costs 8,000 rupees, or you ask for an angiogram, like I was saying, which costs 25,000 rupees. So you have to be careful and not just suggest tests and even medicines without being sure that the person needs them. So geriatrics is different. I have enjoyed my life as a geriatrician, and I look forward to a few more years of practice and then slowly tone down my practice and do more of social work, mainly concentrating on the elderly and also my passion, acting and all that. But this huge long journey from maybe 1994, effectively from 1998 when I went to England, till today, 2021, which is about 23 years,
Right.
this long journey has really, really helped me a lot in learning what aging is about, how elderly think, what they expect. Do you know what the elderly really expect from a doctor? You'll be surprised if I tell you that most of them have told me, just give us a patient hearing, just listen to our. Half the time, what they'll say is not relevant to medicine. Their symptoms will be in one or two words, but they'll want to tell, open their heart to you. So when an old man comes and tells me that his boma, which means his daughter-in-law, is doing so and so, I have to listen to him because what he's saying may be linked with his medical illness. So that is what geriatrics is about. I've shared, I mean, there are hundreds and hundreds of stories which I would love to share with. I've shared a few. Um, I know, Orijit, that you're going to go into rapid fire round in a questioning in about 5 minutes time at the end of this half an hour slot, I believe. Is that right?
Well, no, I'll actually ask you a different question before
Okay.
you finish your stories about
Yeah.
patients. You know, I've seen you in a complete different way. I still remember when we had a common picnic with a lot of old elderly people in a boat, if I'm not wrong.
Yes,
And
right. You're
there
right.
you actually started dancing with a lot of others. And I
Yes.
saw a complete different elder brother of mine. And to be very honest, in earlier days when I used to walk with you, you told me that your favorite movie character till date, I believe that, is James Bond. And till
Yes.
date, you don't miss Bond movies. And I saw a Bond is dancing with his patients, and they're also enjoying the same. And I also, started enjoying your dance. So for the audience, um, it's not that easy, when you look at life from the perspective of a doctor who is watching life and death so closely, and
Oh,
then
yes.
become really, really joyful and then enjoying life with others, sharing all the happiness, hiding all the sorrowness of his own personal life, and then listening and caring about others. In probably 2 to 3 sentences, how do you accomplish this? How do you become so happy outside, and then keeping away all your agony, your problems aside, and then smile and give relief to others? How do you do it?
I'll answer your question. Before that, yes, James Bond is my favorite character. Thanks for remembering that, Origi. Um, another character who's my favorite is Superman, and I call my brother Origi to Superman because, in some ways, I feel he's a Superman. The way he does his work all over the world. So you know that, don't you? Because sometimes I poke you as Superman,
Yeah.
and yes, um, yes, I still cry when my one of my patients who I have treated for years or months dies either in front of me or I hear that he is no more. Uh, yes, I still suffer when I see a patient who I can't do anything and I have to refer on. I still suffer when I see a patient um, who I can't treat or anyone can treat because of lack of funds. And then, yes, I spend a lot of time, like I said, acting and drama is my passion. But I spend a lot of time with uh, older people like Dignity, like Rotary, where I attend picnics. Orijit was mentioning the launch steamer party, which we had. This was a Dignity Foundation, which is an organization which works with elderly. Orijit, I invited him to come, and he came, and he didn't say something. He also danced on that day. He didn't say that, and I love to see my cousin brother dance with elderly people, and there were young people there also. So I have this thing which even my family member, my very close family member, my wife, who's also an actress, she knows this most, and that is I can switch off and switch on very quickly. This is something which I have been trained when I was in UK, Odijit.
Mhm.
To you'll be surprised to hear nowadays European directive doctors don't work more than 40, 48 hours in a week.
Wow.
In our time, we used to start work on, say, on a Monday morning at 9 a.m., work through the night on Monday, finish our work on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Just imagine the number of hours we used to work at a stretch. And in the night, when the day was over, we used to hold our pager or bleep, as we called it. And I had just dropped off to sleep maybe at 2:30 in the morning when the pager sounds and I have to rush to the emergency to see a patient. So that's switching off and switching on. And then I used to see the patient come back and try and doze a bit again. Again, the pager is to go on off, and I used to run to see a patient, say at 4 in the morning. So that training, that rigorous training, not only trained me to be a good doctor, but it also trained me to switch off and switch on. So when I used to go and see the patient, I concentrated on the patient. When I came back to my on-call room, we didn't have mobiles so much at the time I'm talking about. So there was this television in the on-call room. I used to switch it on, watch a movie maybe or a game on BBC, and then try to doze a bit. And then again the pager sounds. So this on-off, switching yourself on for your role as a doctor, and switching yourself off for you as yourself as a human being. I think I'm indebted to UK for this because I can do it now. I can dance, I can laugh, I can smile, I can speak on any subject for 5 minutes in the middle of work. This thing I've trained myself over the years. And of course, public speaking has helped me a lot because I'm indebted to my parents, my mother who's still alive, and my father who's no more. I started public speaking when I was almost 3 to 4 years old. I used to speak on Netaji, on Rabindranath, on their birthdays. So public speaking also helps me a lot, and that also has molded me to mix with people, to be joyful, to because after all, you live only once, and why not live it well? So yes, I switch on and off, and you've seen it correctly. When I'm in my professional boots, I'm a strict professional. When I'm not, then of course, yes, I enjoy life with mainly senior citizens, because yesterday only I spent some time with totally different group of people, children. Yesterday I went to an daycare center where about 30 children from very deprived societies attend, and I spent the day with them and my wife, because it was my wife's idea, because it was her birthday yesterday. She wanted to gift those children. So these children who are really poor children, when I saw the smile in their eyes when my wife was giving them chocolates and pencil sets and drawing books and crayons, each one of them a special pack, which maybe they don't get chance to use because of their parents being so poor. So I attend these programs, Purijit, and I've also attended a few with you also, and you've also come to my programs. You've seen them. Unfortunately, COVID has taken away a lot of our cultural side or our extracurricular side, but I hope it will slowly start again. And there's no substitute to working well as a doctor. And then when you're not working as a doctor, to living life well as a human being. And I really enjoyed that. And I'm thankful to my family, to my mother, to my wife, to my daughter who's in Mumbai right now. They inspire me to carry on. I think I've answered your question, rather long
100%.
answer.
100%. It's a beautiful answer. So I'll not take a lot of time of yours because I know that you're busy. And for your interest, I can see that from our live from Facebook, without any kind of previous announcement, we got 12 likes at the moment, 4 comments, 10 share. Oh my God. And somebody is listening and watching from UK and she commented as well. Okay. Coming back to our rapid fire round, which is really, really interesting. Probably we'll open up Pandora's box. So the way it works, I'm going to ask you one-liner question. You need to answer whatever comes in your mind. Are you ready?
My God. Yes. I'm ready, but it's 9:30 p.m. on a Monday, and it's a tired old brain, and I don't know how much I'll be able to rapid fire. I hope you're not
Three
like
questions
Saurav.
for you then, apart from 5 questions, 3 questions only.
Okay, and I hope you're not like Saurav Ganguly. No googlies, please.
No, ugly.
Okay.
Okay, first question to you. What is life?
Life is about living like you've never lived before, and living each day thinking that the next day might not exist. Kal ho na ho.
Who comes in your mind when you hear a word called love?
Uh, my mother, my wife, and my daughter.
3 women. Super. Now, if I look at these 3 different stage of life, daughter, that's Tosha, and of course Bodhi, and of course my aunt, which is my mom, actually. So for the audience, mama means in English it's actually uncle, but that's basically more than that in at least in our culture. Um, so he is just like you can say a big shot for me in my childhood days. I'm just shifting a little bit from the rapid fire. Um, and he used to tell me that uh, in English, if I translate, hey, you and me, we have the same birth dates. And what's cooking inside your mind? That's the way we used to greet each other. And I still remember the way he used to come to our house with a long stick in his hand, with white dress, white hair. And from outside is just one call, call of my mom's name, of course, Shikha Bariachis. Okay, coming back to the rapid fire round again. You have 3 women in your life, and you mentioned that these 3 are your love. So, if I call probably a different state of mind, who is your superhero? What comes in your mind?
James Bond.
That's a mythical character in real life.
In real life, my superhero is my mentor, Professor Shukumar Mukherjee, who's the my teacher in medicine, who at 80 plus is still, for those of you who are in Kolkata, are aware of him. And he's someone who has really groomed me to be what I am today. And whatever medicine I know is because of him. I actually have two superheroes. One is him, and the other is Professor Bimal Bhomik. For those who are in UK, may have heard of him. He's an OBE, which is Order of the British Empire. He's a Bengali doctor who started his life in Chandanagar selling peanuts, as we call badam, on the train, local train. And from there he went to England, and he's the one of the best geriatricians. He's retired now, of course, of England, and he's also he got the Order of British Empire from the Queen for his contribution to geriatrics. And Professor Bimal Bhomik, for if anyone is listening from UK, would put in a Google search, you'll find him. So Professor Shukumar Mukherjee and Professor Bimal Bhomik, my two gurus, are still my superheroes, the way they are still working and carrying on with life professionally and personally.
I'll end this last question. I mean, I'll end this rapid fire with this last question. Retirement plan for Dr. Kausik Majumdar.
Retirement as a doctor is always very difficult because I have seen many of my senior doctor teachers who have treated in the last days of their life work till the last day. Um, so there is no retirement as retirement for plan for me, but of course there is a step down and tone down slowly. And my plan is to settle down in my retired life in the most favorite place of my existence. I have a special attraction for that place, and that place is none other than Rabindranath Thakur's Bolpur Shantiniketan. I'm going to spend the last few years of my life there, serving the elderly, serving the poor tribal community there. Few of my friends already have taken me, and I've seen how they work there. And maybe not think about money anymore. I hope I won't have to think about earning then, and work for the pleasure of working, and work for the pleasure of living, and doing something for the superpower who I believe in God till I unite with him like we all do one day.
Super, super, super. I'm really, really happy, honored, and blessed that you came and shared such insightful session with all the audience. And I can see that two more professor they actually joined. And for the audience, so this is basically, if you look at riding tiger, the concept of riding tiger is actually the people who have the courage of taking risk in life. Riding tiger is not that easy. When you start riding, you can't stop. You need to keep riding it. And life is just like that. When you start riding on your own journey, it can be anything, any profession. You just can't leave that. If you leave that, either it will die or you will die. That's the vice versa option. I just think in your own mind what you want to be in your life. And to be very specific about today's speaker, if you really want to explore him, please Google about his name. You will get to know about his details, his journey, and the kind of work that he's doing. But honestly speaking, he's beyond that. It's not that I am making a statement because he is my cousin, elder brother. Not like that. He's a great human being. I have seen him working. When he works, he is just like tiger roaring with people. But when it becomes, offline mode, he is usually a very good, dear old friend whom you can hang out with, talk with, share your life, and of course, be enlightened. So please stay tuned, keep sharing, keep loving us, keep liking us, keep commenting, and be a proper human being. That's more important in today's life in 2021. COVID is not going to end. We need to live with it. Issues is not going to end. Life will be with all of your issues. Don't complain. Don't feel that you can't achieve things. Don't say that I don't have X amount of things. That's the reason I couldn't achieve. If he can do that, if all of us can do that, you can do that too. Stay blessed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sayonara. God bless. And we'll see each other soon next week with another amazing speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you.